Greetings Capricorn. Hey, thank you for joining me. This is your April reading. We will be using these 3 different decks of cards. Now, what we are picking up on primarily at the moment for a lot of people, yourselves included, I think, is a current feeling of anxiousness, I think, that is pervading most people's energies. And whilst you guys are particularly sensible and grounded with your energy, because of your groundedness and perhaps the overall planetary alignment that is following your energies at the moment, some of you, it may be that you are feeling quite anxious as well. Whereas oftentimes I think of Capricorns as being sensible and logical, the whole global anxiety might be pinging itself into you a little bit. That's kind of one of the messages that I got for the intuitive work that I did for you before we start the reading. So what I'll do is I'll carry on with that intuitive messages now, and I'll read them out for you, and then we will see what the cards are showing up. So Capricorn, for April, it seems to me that the world's events are shaping your journey. And I agree that that would be the case for most of us anyhow. I understand that. But I think for a lot of you, it's somehow involving your personal journeys, what is going on with the world at the moment. And that could be indicative of the fact that we're seeing so many changes within government institutions, within borders, within politics. And those things are often represented by Capricorn energies. So somehow that gets into your persona or into your energy field, if you get my drift. Now then, I've also said, are some of you more anxious than usual? And this could be related to the whole pandemic issue that's going on at the moment around the earth, and just that feeling of tension that you are either subliminally, if you like, picking up on the vibes and feeling it in your body, or whether the actual situation is helping to increase anxiety levels. Now, if you are suffering from more than usual anxiousness, or feeling a bit anxious about your health, for instance, or the health of some family members or friends around you, just remember the obvious health tips. So the best thing you can do is to increase your immune status. Now, I have done a video on this, which I will put the link for you at the end of the video or underneath the video. But some of the logical things are, number 1, zinc. To increase the level of zinc in your body, it's a very good antiviral. Garlic, olive leaf, vitamin C, liquid B12. Also raise the pH of the body. Now this can be done through changing the foods you eat, by adding in things like lemon juice and also bicarbonate of soda. But also really important to focus on for you guys is breath work. Now, I've had that message quite a lot come into me for some of the other readings as well, because I think we're all, when we're in a state of anxiety, we often forget to breathe correctly. Now, deep breathing, so taking in lots of oxygen through the base of your lungs and in around your abdominal area, and doing that often a day. So if you've got the time, which we all should have, during your day, take a few moments, maybe at breakfast, maybe at lunch and dinner, and set aside, even if it's 30 seconds or more, and do some deep breathing exercises, filling your body with healthy oxygen. Oxygen is another natural antiviral property. Now, we know that with the coronavirus, some of the people who get the illest are the ones who are depleted in oxygen and end up with the pneumonia. What else did I have here for you guys? Some of you may not be sleeping well, and there could be something or someone disturbing your sleep. That was a feeling that came through. The other thing is, this is quite a big time of change for you Capricorns, and I think you will have noted that in January, when the Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter conjunction happened, you knew that you guys are in the firing line of immense change coming in, and it will affect the whole globe, the way we live, quite honestly. This change that's coming, it's lining you up for the next 10 years of your life, but possibly even longer. So for many of you, it's a positive shift, like it's really going to take you into the next level of your awareness, of your journey of life on the planet. But it's a slow burning, and I've got question mark love. Does this mean love? So for some of you, there could be a romance or a relationship that's just trundling along slowly, but it's going to be like a long-term love relationship, and you might not even expect it at this point in time. So it's a long, slow burning process, and it's slowly turning. And this change that you are going through could be part of the reason that you're feeling anxiety as well. Also, the number 9s are playing a role for you guys, which always mean endings and shifting over to a new fundamental realm of life, of belief systems. So the ending of a cycle is definitely intensifying the whole pattern of moving into this long duration shift and ending things at the same time. Now, this can also amplify or intensify anxiety. So for some of you, you're feeling kind of anxious about newness or new directions, or the inability to necessarily feel the safety in there, like you're not sure how well anchored it is or what direction it's heading or the prognosis of it. And this can help to intensify the anxiety as well. But for others of you, this is a very liberating time. It's like a time of freedom, of flinging stuff off from the past that was holding you back, or that you know that you had finished with and were ready to move on. So those were the messages I got for you. They seemed to feel quite typically Capricornian in the way they were delivered and in the somberness, if you like, of them. So let's see what's in store for you guys with the cards that we have here. So this is for Capricorn. Well, that was a strange start. Okay, let's put these back in together and shuffle these. I don't think we will be using them all. But I have found that these April readings are quite intense, and I think that the reason that this can be is we are coming into the religious holiday of Easter, the Christian holiday, and oftentimes around this time of the year we can experience connection to the spiritual or celestial portals. So quite often we get some amazing messages coming through, or contacts being made, interference happening, just different effects that can be felt at many different levels. And some of you may be feeling this through your sleep, or be awakened with strange dreams and things like that happening as well, which could all be connected to, you know, a different spiritual realm or dimension in life. So just one more shuffle, and then we will just pull from the top to see what's in store for you. Well, I said that was quite, that was one of the main messages that I received, that some of you are feeling the anxiety. And I think for a lot of you, it could be the anxiety of this current global pandemic. And for others, it's different. It's personal anxiety. If we just for a minute broach the global pandemic issue, my thinking of it is, every single generation goes through some sort of catastrophic event one way or another. For instance, my parents lived through World War II, and that went on for 7 years, and that was a harrowing time for everyone on the planet. Now, I've never been through anything like that, and in real terms, the time I've been alive, there has been very little major global issues, but it looks like this is our global issue that we all have to face and understand. So knowing that each generation gets its own, if you like, event or possibly series of events, we have to put it into a perspective and say, well, if this is it, let's get to it, let's do it, let's work it through, let's use the most logic behind it, and let's deal with it in the best way possible, which I think we are doing now globally. There's a sense of governments taking charge and certain implementations being put in place. Now, if this is your own fear about other things, such as maybe for some of you worry about finances or your job, because certainly this is something we're going to be facing as the future moves ahead, there will be a financial implication from this particular event that's occurring, this global pandemic. So some of you might be worried about finances or money or your love life or your own health as well. Well, we've talked about health a little bit earlier. In terms of finances, we all have to be logical again and use Capricornian sensibility and put it into practice. And that's things like cutting back on spending, putting your money somewhere safe. If you had invested it in the share market, for instance, and most of the share markets have completely fallen to bits, now is not a good time to sell. Don't rush out and sell them. The share market will come back again and your investments will eventually pick up. So provided you have got enough money to live with and you don't need to cash in on anything like shares or pulling money from other investments that may be tight or losing money at the moment, then don't. Hold off and wait it out if you can. I think we'll move on from that one. Oh gosh, this is the Wheel of Fortune, which, to be honest, when I was doing the intuitive work before and I talked to you about a cycle changing, this is the card that came out for you. And it's not with this deck, I was using another deck, but this is the exact energy that was being exemplified or amplified rather, and that I was being told to make sure that you understand that this is a massive cycle of change for you guys, and it is taking you, and I said through 10 years, but possibly even longer for many of you. And when we go through these destiny events or big changes, we can often feel extra fear or worry because things can be upended and can be destabilized, and it's natural as a human to feel into that and be a little bit concerned about it. But we have to apply some logic, and this card represents a benevolent change, a change for the better, a change to the good, a change of better circumstances and such like. Yeah, well, okay, so we're back again. We're just circling around, and I did get that message clearly. That's what I talked a little bit about in the beginning, this kind of worry and fear. Now, I'm thinking for a lot of you that we need to see you increase your strength, your physical strength and your nervous strength in particular. We see a lot of yellow coming through these two cards, which are the ones that have a little bit of fear in them. So increasing the solar plexus area of the body, building that up and strengthening the gut and the core area, wearing yellows, eating yellow foods. We've talked about other things to do to make sure you are maintaining good physical health. Also, this is your gut instinct, so tune into the messages that you are receiving yourself about whether you trust something or trust someone, and make sure that you are listening to your higher self, to your intuitive self, and to any synchronistic messages you might receive, or celestial messages such as dreams or other events that take place that give you an indication of an answer or a direction to take. This card can also represent a little bit of conflict, which is what it's saying down here, and this can be in the workplace. So there may be someone around you that you are working with who is creating a little bit of this worry and feeling a bit deflated, or feeling a bit, I'm angry at someone, or I'm angry at something, or I'm just pissed off. It could represent something along those lines. This card often talks about the need to use communication effectively and to be careful what you say and how you say it and to whom. Sometimes you'll have an argument with someone and they will leave your life forever. Other times it might be you that are just sick and tired of someone else and you leave them forever. So even though it's a number 5, this can have very far-reaching events or far-reaching changes in relationships in your life and people who are currently in it. And these two may be playing into the weight of this one, or maybe helping to create this event occurring. So just remember, think twice before you really do push too hard with certain people or situations, because it could be very, very final. So yeah. But look at this, we've got the Ace of Cups. This is a beautiful card to behold. It is peace, harmony, feeling safe, protected, nurtured, loved, calm, serene, joyful, happy, well. So all of the positive vibrations of this card are so powerful that the positive energies of this card really just push any of the fear, conflict and defeat into the background. So focus on these type of energies if you are suffering from any of this going on around you, or if you are feeling destabilized or not particularly happy in some aspect of your life. For some of you, this could be work related. But this is a beautiful card talking about love in your life. And it is a blessed card from a very high energetic field, or from a high energy stream, one that you can't even see, but that you can start to feel into, and feel the energy of love emanating around you, and you can start to feel the joy that comes from the energy of this card. It is the promise of new love, of new relationships, of health and happiness as well. Well, you've got another 5 come in again, and this is more anxiety and worry, and it's sometimes about money. Some of you need to balance what's going on around you with your money, or your finances, or your career sector, or people that you work with. There is a feeling here of a little bit of tension. Now, for some of you, this card is temporary, whereas this card is more permanent in the events that take place around it. This card can represent feeling unwell, and it can represent things like the flu or a cold, or feeling shut off or left out, especially feeling alone. And this could be things like self-isolation that many people are globally having to go through at the moment. Bear in mind how temporary this energy is, and apply this to it, right? To fix it. It can also mean a temporary hardship of your finances. We've talked about that earlier as well. But remember, overall, this is your major arcana card, and this is how the wheel is working itself through. When we experience change, we usually do go through the various levels that accompany change. You can't necessarily expect everything in life to be all whimsical and love and laughter and joy and light. There is always 2 parts to the exponential growth and change of a journey. So just flow into it, guys. Another lovely one for you, rejoice in celebration. There is support for you, there is happiness, there could be events taking place. The events may be diminished in size, they might actually be only with 3 people, but these people are great friends or relatives or support people that you cherish and that you love spending time with. Sometimes this is getting together with people like this for an event that you haven't seen in a long time. This is also about the community card and the sisterhood of love and support and friendship. Another nice card to arrive. Whoa, this is beautiful as well. This is happy homes. So feeling safe. Now, someone else has had the same 2 cards come out, because I held them together and noted the 2 rainbows that appear. So this is the energy to focus on. This is the harmony to bring into your life. Now, a happy home, this one can mean moving, shifting, buying a home, selling a home. It can mean moving in with other people or extending the family unit. So sometimes it's bringing new people to live with you. It could be a blended family that's coming on board. It can be the birth of a baby. It can be the adoption of a child or a pet as well, having a new pet come in. These two are beautifully harmonized, and together they give off even more positive aura. So I think it's really, really important for you guys to focus on the possibilities and the positive energies emanating around you, rather than trapping yourselves into some of this stuff. You've got like you've got a bifold reading going on. There's this over here. Actually, it's a trifold reading, because there's the big one in the middle, then there's this stuff down here, right? So it feels to me you may have really beautiful events happen in April, and then at other times you're going to be like this. You're jumping from one to the other. That's good, as long as you are experiencing this as well and harnessing the opportunities that sit behind it. This can be moving state, moving location, as I say, buying a home. It can also be refurbishing your home or spending time at home feeling safe and contented and happy. The Two of Pentacles is about balancing movement, choices and decisions. Some of you do have some decisions to make around your finances in this upcoming month in April. This could also mean possibly about job changes one way or another, and also managing your money and probably budgeting well as well. But definitely movement, choices and decisions are three important words of the aspect of the card. More love. So you had three lovely cup cards turn up. This is memories of love. This is the fondness of going back in your mind about childhood dreams or experiences. And I've said you may catch up with someone from the past. It may be a smaller event, and it could be a happy celebratory event. It could be an engagement or a wedding, because that can also be represented by this card here. It just gives this beautiful support, this feeling of love, of nurture. It could be that you find old love coming back into your life. So sometimes relationships are rekindled at this point. Sometimes it's also about going back to the things that made you happy and reconnecting with the joy of love, especially if you haven't felt joy or happiness in your life. So I think the messages were quite strong in the beginning, the way they came out and just said to you guys, monitor any feelings of fear or anxiety or worry, and really try to focus on bringing balance and harmony into any situations that need dealing with. We won't do any more of these cards in particular, but I will pull a couple from this deck for you. Well, they came off. Angel of Psychic Ability and God of Conflict Resolution. Okay, your intuitive and psychic abilities are strong at present. Now, I did mention that you needed to reconnect with your gut feelings, trust your inner strength, listen to synchronistic events that are taking place. You will find answers through some of those realms or through those portals, okay? So there are things around you that are giving you answers. So make sure that you are activated and listening to them and ready for them. This God of Conflict Resolution says you are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict. Now, if we come back to this card here, this is the conflict card. And I said, if you are not careful, whoever this could represent, often this is yourself, and you do find that you can be in a winning position over an argument or a situation that could be, going on in the background and sort of bubbling away and about to boil over. You could win, but it's at the cost of something bigger. So they're saying walk away from a current conflict, and that's exactly what this person is doing. He's walking down the steps away from something. So something that you are thinking of fighting about or fighting over, or that you think you've got the answer to, or or that it's worth standing up for, they're suggesting don't at this present point in time. Back off a little bit. They also would be saying be careful about how you speak about this subject or matter with these people who are involved, because it may not be to your benefit to open this can of worms up. There's something that you guys really need to just back off from, let it go, let it settle, and I think in time there will be a better outcome or a better option rather than it going in this way with defeat. Because I'm thinking at the moment it might lead to a bit of defeat. Now this could be anything. It could be negotiations over the sale or purchase of something. It could be group negotiations. It could be community. It could be personal relationships. But I'm also thinking for some of you it's work related. So have a think about that, and yeah, so just keep yourselves out of the firing line is the message that just came in. It seems as though people, we know at the moment, people are fairly stressed out and anxious and a little bit angry themselves. And it just feels as though that is the case. And I think you guys just keep your nose clean, keep yourselves busy, and yeah, keep out of one of these firing lines. These are the Keepers of the Light, and I just thought they would be quite nice cards to bring in as a light bringing vibrational energy. So they bring the higher vibes, and just because of the change in the energy for a lot of people on the planet and the extra anxiety that's around, I wanted to bring the higher light codes in and the higher frequency for you. So you got Commander Ashtar, the call to action. Take charge, lead by example, and walk your talk, which actually is almost the opposite of what these two were saying. So I'm not sure that he is saying the same message that is relating to this particular situation or bit of conflict that's going on in the background, but he is asking you to stand tall and to use your logic most definitely, to take charge of perhaps your own life and any fears or worries. Boost yourself up. You know, don't be afraid of being you, definitely at the moment. You don't need to hide away. You don't need to be too fearful. So Commander Ashtar is a celestial light being. I'm going to read to you from the book for him. I think his message could be quite global as well. So he is also known as Ashtar, also known as Commander Ashtar, is a multidimensional being who promotes truth, peace and harmony between the planets. He is said to be an extraterrestrial but appears in human form so that he can communicate at the heart level with all those on earth who call on him. He is part of the Great White Brotherhood, a congregation of light beings who work to bring healing to the world, and is a wonderful guide to those who are feeling the call to bring positivity, healing and inspiration to those around them. He lifts up the hearts of leaders and inspires them to walk their path with complete integrity. So it says you are receiving a call to action and being asked to step up and create the changes you want to see in the world. Divine inspiration is all around you, and Ashtar and his legion of cosmic angels are standing by to offer you loving support. Know that you are being encouraged to be honest, assertive and true in a loving way. You may feel your ego trying to hold you back, but know that when you take the first step, the next one will soon follow. Take some time to connect with the universe by looking up at the stars, knowing that there are loving beings of light gazing back down on you. You are not alone. And I think that's a nice message at this time in our timeline of 2020. Now just one more card and we will see who arrives for Capricorn. The Holy Spirit and 2 came out, and the Divine Director, intervention and purpose, and expect miracles. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided and happiness is your purpose. Remember that only love is real. Miracles occur naturally and Spirit has your back. So a lot of really beautiful positive energy is there to finish your reading so that you can come back to this, call upon these ascended angelic white light energies to uplift you, to provide protection, because there's a lot of them in here that have given protection, and guidance as well, and to feel the positivity, the happiness and the strength that is yours to pull on for this month of April as you take control of your emotions, feelings and directions of where you are going and who you are going with. So there you are, Capricorn. I hope that you have enjoyed this reading and that you can come back any time to uplift the positive energies and messages. And you've got a lot in the reading, most definitely. And at the end here, I noticed too there's a lot of blue coming through this lot of cards. And the blue is the communication. And we've clearly talked about communication in your reading as well. And that's communication with yourself and with others in this month of April. So I wish you all the very, very best. Take heed of the messages. Look after yourselves. Keep yourselves fit and active and healthy. And take a lot of lovely deep breaths. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subbing the channel. I love it when you leave your comments, as does the rest of the community. Everyone loves to read the comments. And check your moon and rising signs as well. So thank you again. Have a wonderfully safe and happy, love-filled April. Namaste.